Hey folks, welcome back to another episode. In today's video, we're going to be working on this beautiful oak tree. Now, as you might recall from my previous video, this oak tree right here, I collected from my neighbor's backyard. That was about a year ago or so, and that was like in the middle of June. So yeah, it's a really hard time for people to be collecting trees because usually most of those trees end up dying. However, this tree has actually been doing really well, and as you can see, I have it on a mesh pot right here. It's time for me to actually repot it because here in California, weather gets really hot, and if I'm being honest, most of the time I don't have time to water my trees. So putting it in another container where the soil does not get dry too quicker will be beneficial for me and also for this little tree. I removed the wire that I put in on the previous season, but I decided to keep this wire right over here. And the reason being is because with the winds and everything, a pot fell and actually hit the tree. Originally, I wanted to have this branch right here, as you might recall from the diagram, because I wanted this to be my new leader branch. And then within the season or so, I wanted to actually just go ahead and continue removing the stump right here. But because of that, it's going to be a little major setback, and I'm hoping for this whole entire branch right here for it to survive. If not, then my other hopes are for new buds to spring somewhere around here. So what we're going to do now is just we're going to go ahead and put this to the side, and then we're going to bring in this other pot right here. So you previously saw the blue pot that I had for my Japanese maple. I got that pot actually at a second or like an antique shop, and that was over in Santa Cruz. This one right here I got for $22, taking off the price right now, and I believe the other one I got it for about $18 or $15. So I would highly recommend for you folks to go and check out your local antique shops, or any others that are out there as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and prep this spot right here by adding a little bit of mesh to each hole. That way we can prevent the whole entire soil to leak through. So let me just do that off the camera and then we can continue. Alright, so our pot is now prepped. Practically just added a little wire holding the mesh over here. Folks already know how to do that, so just did it off camera. Now what I'm going to do next is just simply set this tree back over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just move some of these branches around. So I'm going to go ahead and just wire and reposition some of these branches right here. And so far I'm probably not going to trim back to any buds just right now because it's still early in the spring and we do have some frost nights here, and I hope for me to not be able to lose any of these specific branches over here. So we're going to be doing a light wiring right now, and then we're going to go ahead and repot. So the previous wire that I had on this tree actually bit onto the branch just a little bit, enough for it to be holding the branch in the position where I wanted it, but not enough for it to scar the whole entire tree. As you folks might know, scars on deciduous trees are really hard to get rid of. If not, they don't really ever go away. So once the tree has been scarred, it is tough to get rid of that overall. So right here, I'm just applying a little bit of wire on the primary branches. And then I'm leaving it on just tight enough for me to be able to manipulate the branches, but not tight enough for them to scar. Because I do have a wider trunk, I'm working with like longer pieces of wire, but we're still doing the same thing where we wire two branches with one piece of wire. Alright, so now that we're finished wiring this tree, it's time for me to place the branches in different positions. Now, this branch right here, I feel like it can come down just a little bit more and separate the two of them, bringing them down and up at the same time. Same thing right here. Want to be able to give this tree the illusion that it's a little bit older, since it does have a nice trunk right here with a lot of bark on it already. These branch right here, I feel like it's also coming in on the same position as this one over here, and this one's a little bit more dominant, so I have to put it on the side right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just try to cut it at least to the first nut right there. And the reason being is because it will be my alternative branch. If this branch were not to be successful, then I'll still be able to have this one right over here. Same thing with these ones on the bottom, the little baby ones. As we come closer, these branches right here, although they're grown within the same exact spot almost, I feel like I can just leave them here, and then eventually this right here will be able to fill in the gap as we're looking at it from the aerial perspective. Moving in a little bit closer, we do have another bundle of branches right here as well. I feel like this one, it's a little bit lower than this one. It's coming almost in the same spot, so I can actually get rid of this one right here. And then once again, I do have two branches growing in from the same direction, but I really like the placement on this one, almost right about there. And I feel like I already have a ramification going on right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this one as my main branch that I'm gonna keep in this position. But right over here, I do want to keep this one just in case the other one is not successful at all. As we come up to the apex, you'll notice these branches right over here. Those branches, they are a little bit long. And I said longer than I should want them, especially since they're coming in closer to the apex. But they do have some buds right there. And what I'm planning on doing is hopefully these two right here will end up getting shortened at one point. Now that we placed the pot over here, we can tell that it's a little bit more than what it actually has this one to offer. This one is about 3 fingers deep, so probably 3 inches or so. But yeah, let's see if the soil comes out really well from it. Okay, so we do have a good clump. Check this out. Oh no. Alright. So it looks like we were getting ready for another one. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep this one for fun. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and put some soil right there. Now you might see some black soil there as well, and that soil is actually a mix that I had made prior to that, which was a little bit of the original dirt mixing with my regular mix, which is 1 portion of akadama, lava rock, and also pumice. But I want this kind of to be like a slip pot almost, where I don't really have to touch much of the root system. I'll probably go ahead and just rake it a little bit just to expose some of those roots right here, and hopefully I can just redirect them to grow in a certain area. That would also help me with the placement of this tree. Oh, so it's looking good. So originally this branch right here, it's not actually a branch, it's more of a root. And I had originally left it because right here I had other little roots that were root feeders. But it looks like it had completely died off. So I'll just go ahead and take that off clean. Let's see. Right hand right here. I want to bite just a little bit. Just get this all cleaned up. That should allow it to heal really good. Looks like we also have another one on the back end. Yeah. So actually that shows a better Navari as it is. Yeah. We did say that we wanted this to be the front of the tree still. So I'm going to go ahead and just place it a little bit off center. So now that I have the tree in placement, which I think would be right about there, I'm just going to go ahead and try to tie it to the pot. And I'll just use my gym pliers to just fasten this tree a little bit more, because we don't want this to move. The roots itself, I don't think they're quite strong yet, so it'd be better if it stays in one position as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and continue by filling in with more soil. I personally think that this specific color of the pot is going to complement the foliage of the tree as well. So I'm really looking forward to how this tree is going to look like. Alright. Let's get this soil nice in there. Funny thing, someone just actually commented on one of the previous videos asking when is the next update for this tree is going to be. So I replied, I'm working on it as I'm typing this response. Oh, look at this. Sorry. Right there. Alright, so let's just add a little more of decoration right here. So yeah, this is the finished product, folks. And I really like this tree, and I'm really glad I collected it before its complete death. But yeah, I feel like within the next 5 years or so, we're going to have some really nice growth here, and eventually it's going to start looking a whole lot better. Now, when it comes to the foliage, some of the leaves right here were actually a little bit bigger, but I think the trunk chub actually helped a whole lot. They're about 2 inches in length, but as soon as we continue just like cutting back here and there, the leaf size should get a lot smaller as the years go by. So let me know what you folks think about this tree in the comments down below. I hope you folks enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for your support lately, and I'll see you next time.